The frequencies for long rifle are the primary frequency of 310.3, 255.2 for TAD 1, and 249.9 for TAD 2. The ground safety net for long rifle is 40.35, and positive communication must be maintained with all players at all times. Long rifle will interrupt to call concerning spillouts and traffic. The only type of terminal control allowed for live fire aboard Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton is Type 1 controls. Additionally, all Type 1 controls must be accompanied by a mark. An exception to utilizing a mark is when controlling MAG-39 aircraft in daylight under VMC conditions. Type 2 and Type 3 controls can only be used for MCAS missions. When utilizing the R220 Whiskey for TACP, the target group Alpha 2 Alpha will not be engaged by rotary wing aircraft. Attack headings from the battle position Newt will be 195 degrees magnetic to 221 degrees magnetic, and from battle position Snake it will be 311 degrees magnetic to 275 degrees magnetic. All rotary wing delivery profiles will be executed per the parameters shown on the slide. In this slide, you can see the battle positions of Newt and Snake. Please note the target group Alpha 1 Alpha, which is the only authorized target group for the R220. The final attack headings for R440 rotor wing TACP are 305 degrees magnetic to 30 degrees magnetic for 20 mm, 50 caliber, and 2.75 inch rockets. The headings are 305 degrees to 350 degrees for 5 inch rockets. The only target groups that will be engaged with 50 caliber and 20 mm guns are Alpha 2 Bravo, Alpha 3 Bravo, and Alpha 4 Bravo. 2.75 inch rockets can only engage Alpha 3 Bravo and Alpha 4 Bravo. Alpha 3 Bravo is authorized for 5 inch rockets and tow engagements. All rotary wing delivery profiles will be executed per the parameters shown on this slide. Here is a depiction of the R440 Zulu Standard TACP cast profile, showing the holding areas and battle positions to be utilized for this event. All FAC-A positions providing a mark in support of TACP must be scheduled separately from R440 TACP. The following are authorized FAC-A positions that a unit can schedule: Range 227, Range 407, and Range 407 Alpha. For all combined arms evolutions utilizing TACP, all FAC requirements apply. FAC-A can only be rotary winged, and the FAC-A must be listed on the unit's ORM. All fixed-wing TACP aboard Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton will be conducted in the R440 only. Bombs are restricted to 500 pounds or less, and strafing is unauthorized. Fixed-wing TACP operations will be scheduled as a standard R440, with the event being fixed-wing TACP. For all non-standard events, routing and IPs require an approval brief by the Range Control Officer 14 days prior to the event. FAC brief sheets must be submitted no later than 14 days prior to the event for approval, and at no time will a FAC or JTAC call cleared hot until the aircraft is in sight, has reported wings level, and it has entered the Aviation Ordnance Impact Delivery Area. When using the R440 for fixed wing, Alpha 3 Bravo is the only target group authorized for engagement with fixed-wing aircraft. The delivery profiles include a speed of 300 to 500 knots, a minimum dive angle of 15, and a maximum of 45. The drop altitude will be between 5,000 and 10,000 feet AGL, and the attack heading will be 305 to 30 degrees magnetic. When utilizing lasers, the PRF will be set to 1688, and the laser firing point is at OP alpha or OP delta. A minimum of at least one MCAS ground laser run will be conducted so that the laser designator can be checked, and one cold pass is required prior to any live runs. In this depiction of the R440 TACP, you can see the target group Alpha 3 Bravo is to be used with fixed-wing aircraft. Again, the only authorized ordnance to be utilized is 500 pounds or less, and fixed-wing strafing is not authorized. A safety brief for all participants will be conducted prior to each live fire event, and a range safety specialist will conduct a face-to-face brief with the FAC or JTAC on the first day of the TACP. Units will verify times and OP for this brief with the range control officer or range scheduling. FAC will have positive control of the aircraft at all times, and no firing will be conducted outside of the Aviation Ordnance Impact Delivery Area. All live TACP aboard Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton will be Type 1 only, and TACP will have a mark, and the only exception is the use of MAG-39 rotary wing aircraft during daylight hours with VFR conditions that allow clear observation and identification of the targets. Aborts are to be in plain language and acknowledged. If a dud occurs, whether it is fixed wing or rotary wing, the FAC-JTAC will notify long rifle of the time it occurred, the location of the dud, and the DOTIC of the ordnance. The laser firing log will be turned in to the range control officer no later than 24 hours from the completion of firing. The weather requirements for all TACP missions are that pilots must maintain positive identification of the target area and a visual reference to the surrounding area for clearance of terrain and other hazards. To find out current weather conditions on the day of your operations, contact Marine Corps Air Station Camp Pendleton METRO at the number listed. Please remember that Camp Pendleton is not exclusive use and that non-participants will be flying. If you have scheduled on a non-air priority day or time, have not turned in your FAC brief sheet or overlay, have missed or not scheduled your face-to-face brief with an inspector prior to the event, do not have the appropriate safety personnel on site, have any loss of communication, allow the release of any ordnance outside of the Aviation Ordnance Impact Area, or allow an aircraft to engage a target group with unauthorized munitions, understand that your event will be terminated. In order to complete this training, you must pass the follow-on open book testing held in the Range Operations Classroom at the listed designated times. Note that having a formal school certificate in hand is a requirement to sit for the FAC-JTAC proctored tests, and successful completion of the Range Safety Certification class is a prerequisite for the FAC-JTAC class and testing. In order to reserve a seat for testing, you must contact us at the shown email address with your request. Note that any personnel who have not been assigned a seat may be allowed in for testing on a first-come, first-served basis. We appreciate you taking the time to ensure that you are properly trained to safely support your unit's training.